I wanted to check in with you one more time as we start to go into the final stretch of the term. Congratulations on getting this far. The class has been doing an amazing job. We've covered a lot in this term so far. Hopefully you're keeping it all into perspective of how it applies to the business world. But our legal reasoning took us through some great cases in the beginning with Honest Jim and Grocery Depot to really analyze how a business might encompass the trial process or some of that legal reasoning. And now after the midterm, we've moved into business organization, which is super important on how we claim our income as a business, how we set ourselves up as a business to take advantage of tax laws or laws that protect us against personal liability and such. And then this week you're moving into intellectual property, which is very fascinating from a standpoint of trademark and patent and copyright issues within a business, or especially the startup of a business. And then we wrap up next week with a wonderful final assignment on an article I wrote about Walt Disney and his startup of Disneyland. Many don't know that he had a very difficult time getting investors or loans or any kind of support to start one of the first amusement parks in the United States. And so the story kind of talks about that and then challenges you to come up with ways that he used business law concepts for his startup of Disneyland. So back to the business organization section that you were covering last week. It really is one of the most important parts of business law. If you were to bring up your business checklist again, as a matter of fact, let's do that real quick. And as we looked at that list, we see that it addresses the intellectual property issues, like when you're first coming up with your business name, should I trademark it or not? And then one of the items was choosing your legal entity, which is what you were covering. But it's more than that, because these days we're going to have more than one source of income. I mean, many of us end up having to work multiple jobs or might have a side business going while we're working for one company and maybe an independent contractor on something else. So that gives us the potential of receiving 1099 income, W-2 income, and business income. And so that's why we looked at the differences between W-2 and 1099. A good example is a friend of mine that owns a tow truck company in Hood River. And it's a family corporation that they set up, but they use their family name and enterprises, so it's Shaner Enterprises Incorporated, and then they set up a DBA, a Dewey business, as River's Edge Towing. Get it? Hood River, River's Edge. But what they're doing there is they do their own contracting for towing with people directly, but then they've also gotten certified with AAA. And many people don't know that the tow truck drivers for AAA are independent contractors. So then AAA ends up sending them a 1099. So that business, River's Edge, has to first calculate out its own direct business income, then this 1099 income, and then report that to the larger corporation, which is the Shaner Enterprises Incorporated. They also needed to trademark the River's Edge name because they plan to possibly franchise in the future. And if you remember reading about that, all you really need is a franchise contract or agreement, and you can go ahead and franchise your particular business. So they've done a lot of things that have tax advantages, avoidance of personal liability issues, and enable them to deal with the multiple streams of income that are coming in. So I just wanted to give you that example because I thought it was a good good example, again, of applying business organization and intellectual property as you're finishing up the term. So again, great job overall. If you need any help, don't hesitate to email me. But otherwise, look forward to having you in another class. Thanks.